Hello, Jam. And hello, everyone else. Welcome to an extremely spontaneous bonus vlog. But I've just had the most revolutionary experience and I felt the need to share it because I know that these people could really help a lot of horses and riders out there. So I am going to try and keep this video as short and fluff-free as possible. You guys will know that I've been having a few issues with Jammy recently with regards to stopping cross-country. It's meant that I've got a lot of time faults. I've just found that out of kind of nowhere, I've got no brakes. So there were a few steps before today that I just want to quickly mention. We had Jam's teeth checked because obviously sudden changes can be tooth related. So we had the dentist out, but all was good. It hadn't been very long since her last checkup anyway. She had the most minor bit of sharpness up about here, but we got all that sorted. But the dentist was very happy and didn't think the teeth were causing her any problems. We've also had the physio, and another change we've made is we've put her onto the Pure Feed Calm and Compose supplement, which is a calming supplement for anxious horses. So we have made other changes, but there was no denying that the bitting was partly the issue. So I did try and solve this issue myself. I bought a bit online and tried it on her and it just really didn't fit her. And that kind of made me realise that I'm actually not qualified to be doing this. Although I feel like I know quite a lot about bits, after today, it turns out there was so much I didn't know about not only bits, but the horse's mouth conformation. So I had a lot of people recommend expert bits to me. I'd heard of them, I'd heard really good things about them, so I decided to get the lovely Matt and Lisa out to come and have a look at Jammy. And we filmed bits of it, and honestly, they are just the most lovely, knowledgeable people, and I feel like I've learned so much from the whole experience, and also I've got a much happier horse because there were just slight things that I'd been doing wrong and that were wrong with the bit I was using, and just changing these minor issues has made a massive, massive difference. So I'm going to pass over to some of the footage that we got today. I'll try and do some voiceover bits to explain, and then I'll catch up with you at the end.
Bless you, got a really, really fleshy mouth there. And if we just open up, she's not got a very big tongue, but the palate is quite low. But if you press it, get your thumb in and press up, where the bit was, it's hard.
So what does a low palate actually mean? That means it's like coming...
So the roof of the mouth is down.
Right,
it's low,
okay.
And it's, sometimes they can look low, but you can press them and they actually feel a little bit spongy.
Right.
But often a low palate would be hard to touch as well. So like a thoroughbred, definitely 99% of them are low and hard. And when you put your thumb up to it to touch it, it actually feels hard.
And that means, so if a bit's touching that, they don't like that, presumably?
Often it's, if the lozenge goes up, or it's a single joint, you can imagine it's like a lozenge or a French will irritate,
yeah,
like that, but a single joint will actually go up and hit it. And you think it's like a point pressing a hard bone like that, is the best way I can describe it.
Yeah.
But it'd be interesting to look at the rest of your connies, because...
See how they change.
Yeah, because they're the only breed that don't follow any sort of breed traits.
Yeah, we've chosen the worst breed, apparently.
Yeah, and just because...
Someone could go a different direction.
And just because a connie looks like, from their mouth conformation, that they should like it, it doesn't mean they're going to do.
Yeah.
Like I say, a cob, an Irish draft, they have a breed trait. A thoroughbred has a breed trait of what their mouth conformation is going to be. And we have a good idea of what they're going to like by their mouth conformation. But connies, like I said, just because they look like they should like it, doesn't mean they're going to like it.
Oh, fun! A little jigsaw puzzle jam.
You are. We'll get you sorted.
Should I actually push it? Oh,
yeah.
I was just tickling it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Oh, sorry. Oh, God, it's disgusting.
Yeah.
Welcome
we
to
carry
our
on to that.
You must love your job.
She's got a bigger tongue.
Bigger tongue, okay.
Bigger tongue. Can you see? That one's a bit bigger.
Oh, yeah.
Right, that's softer. It's definitely softer.
So I've got to do that now.
Says that's rude.
Sorry, darling. I know. Oh!
Yeah, can you feel the difference?
Yeah. Sorry.
Good girl.
Yeah, it's much softer.
Okay, so we've just gone around all the horses. So they've all got hard palates. Dora's got a softer one. Small tongue. What's her tongue like?
Her tongue is quite small as well.
We need small tongue.
Yeah.
Dora's got a big tongue.
Okay.
Basically follow the shape of a mouth that little bit better.
Yeah.
You see how much you've got. You've got a good inch sticking out here.
Yeah.
It's too much.
For some reason I had it in my head that Milo's you go up a size. Now?
It looks more active in the hind leg.
Yeah, well I feel like I can actually, because before I find she goes a bit kind of behind a bit, it's almost like she's hanging there.
Yeah.
Whereas this feels like she's actually got a bit more of a consistent contact without.
Having to keep asking, you're not having to ask as much. She's actually listening and keeping it. You don't have to sort of keep reminding this is what you want. She's tracking up beautifully.
Yeah.
And the hind leg looks really active.
It does look much more active.
It doesn't.
That's weird.
Yeah, it looks much more active, the hind leg.
I would never have believed that.
But I think it's just because I feel, because the other one, or like what I've found with her in the past, is she almost like, you have the contact, then she drops you. So like you're not inclined to push her forward because you're not sure when she's going to drop you and you're going to lose the connection. Whereas this, I feel like I've got a more consistent connection, so then I can put my leg on more.
So you would normally jump in this bit as well?
She does everything in this bit, yeah.
Right, we better give the jumping a go and then we're just warmed up.
It's short for you, isn't it, darling?
Could drop back to the egg book with Luke.
Yeah. So,
We could even try an egg book and see just freeing her up that little
yeah,
bit more as well.
go get an egg book, bring an egg book with loose.
Because when you're going about strength, if mouthpiece starts to fit better and there's no fight against what she doesn't like in her mouth. So we get her happier in the mouth, like she's stretching out wanting to take the bit when we ask. She respects what you're asking more, so then that's when
And I
we don't
feel like because I had it the wrong side, that probably explains why I had. If I was
Just
I'm
pulling
more
through the
heavy with
mouth.
one hand, so I wonder that's why she was more dead.
Wrong size and wrong shape. It's
Yeah.
that little bit of that angle change make quite a big difference.
Yeah.
So you think their mouth is a small part of it, it's a big, it's a small thing over a big surface area, so it has to be right.
Yeah, yeah.
We're giving more of that shape in her mouth now. We're giving her that freedom, which is probably making her want to stretch and ride into it more.
Egg butt snaffle now, guys.
So we see, I see what you mean. Yeah, it's like it needs to go up.
Too low, too high.
yeah.
But when you get a bridle that's got really big gaps between
Oh,
them,
yeah.
then it's really difficult.
Yeah.
That's why, these are brilliant with small. I'm on top one. It's also really important that we're even on our bridle as well.
Right, I was just about to ask
Even
you
on
that.
both sides. Yeah. You've got to give them time to get used to it.
I feel like I'm looking down so much because I like to look at what her mouth and neck's doing.
She seems to come back a little bit more. I think she's got in hand shape. To me, she'll come back to you in that again. But yeah, so the way
Yeah, she just felt a little bit kind of like deader on the rein. But yeah, it was almost like I was having to do quite a lot. And then the other side, she was like, yeah.
So this one, the weight of the bit's held up by the cheek pieces, the weight of the bit's off the tongue, and it's completely still in the mouth. Whereas this one, she can, although it's still in her mouth, she can still feel the weight of the bit on the tongue.
Right, okay.
Because I don't like it.
And she doesn't like it. She obviously likes something, the less fuss, the better.
I mean, yeah, that's unheard of for me to be able to wrang her along there and then get her, like, it was like one stride, she came back.
Yeah.
Good girl!
Because she's respecting what
Really
the mouthpiece
happy
is
with
asking.
that. Yeah, and like it doesn't...
And then we've just got that little bit of pressure there.
You don't need the strength of the pelham.
No, I wouldn't describe her as a strong horse.
Like a show jumping pony.
Oh,
Good
so
girl.
much better. Like literally I can use the turn, set her up, she's there, and then I've got like, okay, now I can go forward or like stay here.
Good girl.
And she's not normally allowed to whiz around and jump like this at home, so it's quite exciting
And
for her.
she is quite excited, isn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, you want to do this.
That feels so much better. And even then, when I went to pull, and she's obviously used to going like that, she kind of thought about it, but then there was nothing.
Yeah.
She did it like once, and it was almost like she was like, oh, hang on, there's nothing that I need
Yeah,
to do
you can
this
sort of
for
see
anymore.
them think often, yeah, and you'll find it'll get better and better.
Yeah.
Because the more she realises that she's not going to have that unwanted pressure, she's going to get better.
Exactly, because she was like,
It's almost like a learnt behaviour.
yeah, which you get because if she's had that the whole time.
Yeah.
So it takes 5 minutes for her to have a lifetime to get out.
She's like, yay!
My new cross-country bit, potentially show jumping
What's
bit.
this called? An egg butt with...
It's the egg butt with loop, comfy barrel egg butt with loops.
Okay.
And as you can see, guys, I have brakes in it, which is
very
very
good.
exciting for me.
And can we show the difference between the egg butt that you
The hanging
make?
cheek.
The hanging cheek, sorry.
I'm glad I was vaguely in the right direction. I mean, I've Lucinda to
Yeah.
thank for that because she recommended me getting.
So this is
kind of
the
bit,
one
but-
Jam was in that Maggie bought, and then this is the new one that you're recommending. It's a much
shallower,
more, shallow, more
and
gentle
not as
sort of.
It's the angle.
Yeah.
angular, yeah.
Yeah. So we'll get this shit right through the mouth rather than.
Yeah.
And
these
we've
bits
also
pulling
gone
through.
down half the size.
Quarter.
Quarter.
Yeah.
And we feel Jam much prefers this. We thought her hind leg action was much freer.
I had a much more, consistent feel
Yeah.
in her mouth, so then she could pull me forward and I could
Super.
put my leg on.
So your dressage scores are going to be amazing.
Oh, I expect it at 18 now, for sure. And that's a guarantee.
Is that right, guys?
So there we have it, the bitting day complete. Just gonna re-show you what I got. So in terms of my dressage / potentially show jumping bit, depending on how things go, we kept it similar. So I've still got the hanging cheek with the mouthpiece that goes forward. Because Jam has a hard, low palate, you can't have anything where like a nutcracker joint or even like a lozenge or a French link, anything that's going to push up on the roof of her mouth is she's going to really overreact to it because it's quite hard. She's not got much sponginess there. Apologies guys, this is me trying to explain it having learnt this today. My best advice for you is to go to Expert Bits. You can do their free consultations, you can ask them questions, or you can get them out to you. They'll give you a bespoke quote depending on where you are in the country. If you're really struggling, I cannot recommend enough getting Matt and Lisa to actually come out because it makes such a difference having it explained to you in person. They'll bring their van full of bits so you can try absolutely everything. I would highly recommend that. Anyway, we have got my hanging cheek. Sorry, I've not actually cleaned it from the slobber. So you can see there with the little barrel in the middle. Matt explained how the hanging cheeks don't actually have any pole pressure. He'll have done a good job about that, so I'm not going to repeat that. The biggest change we have with this is the Expert Bit ones are not nearly as harsh at an angle. You can see the comparison with the bit I was using. Although to the untrained eye it looks very similar, now they've highlighted to me how different the angle is between them and how theirs is shallower and also a lot smoother. I can really notice the difference, and it's safe to say Jam definitely noticed the difference. Another thing we did is we went down a 1/4 inch in size, which means I'm actually making the most of the shape of the bit. Because mine was a 1/4 inch too big, it was actually riding like a straight bar because all of the shape that the bit had wasn't being used because it was outside of her mouth. And then for my new cross-country bit, which I am so excited to try, literally I was galloping Jam around the school and then she'd come back within a stride. Obviously there's habits to iron out because she was used to the old bit that wasn't fitting her particularly well and that was making her put her head up. So we are going to get a bit of that because it's just a bit of a learnt behaviour for her. But I did already notice a massive difference. So I've got the egg butt snaffle and you can see there, you have the cheek piece there and then the rein here. So it just controls how much the rein can slip round and therefore gives you a tiny bit more leverage. I was so happy with this. We've also kept the curved shape for Jammy's mouth. She seemed really, really happy, and I definitely had more breaks, so very excited to test this out at Swaycliffe. So that brings us to the end of this video. I know it's been a very information heavy video, hence why it's just a bonus one for the people that really need it, and say a massive thank you to Expert Bits. They very kindly did give me these 2 bits. I'm incredibly grateful, but I want to be completely transparent with you guys. Although honestly, Jamie was having these bits regardless. I'd already planned to have them out, but they were very, very kind in gifting them to me, so really excited to get going with them. If you are having bitting issues, I genuinely cannot recommend them enough. They were so knowledgeable and helpful, and really put the horse first and made sure that they got a bit that I'm capable of riding in. They don't overbit or underbit the rider. And something else I like about them is they always want to strip the bit back. They never want to put a bit in a horse that's too strong for what the horse actually needs. Anyway, as I said, super excited to go out competing these bits and test them out. I'm gonna leave the details for Experts Bits down below. As I mentioned, they have a service where you can actually ask them questions online and they will give you advice, or you can have a bitting consultation like I did, where you can pay for them to come out and then you can try all of the bits. They are way more affordable than many bits out there because they make them themselves. I feel positive about it. I feel really happy. Right, I live, laugh, love you. Thank you for watching, and thank you very much, Expert Bits, for really, really helping me. Bye.